In my last video, I discussed how the speaking section can affect your performance in reading, listening, and speaking, and how the different sections in PT interact with each other. In this video, I'll be talking about how the writing section affects the writing score as well as your reading score based on my recent mock test experiment. Why reading the summarized written text questions too many times is not going to improve your writing and reading score both significantly, and why spelling does not play an important role in the writing section itself. If you want to find answers to these questions, please continue watching until the end, because some of these questions will be clear only when I will summarize all the things I mentioned in this video at the end of the video. Let's get started. If you're new to this channel, my name is Roman. I am the founder of Roman PT. We have been providing face-to-face classes to students in Melbourne and Hobart and online classes to people all over the world. So if you're interested in our courses, please visit romanpt.com. We also upload one video every week to YouTube. So if you don't want to miss any of our videos and recent updates about PT and any important tips and tricks, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. In this video, I'm going to talk about the writing section, how writing section is evaluated, how it contributes to your writing score, your overall score, and how it affects your reading performance. So if you have been watching our recent uploads, then you may have noticed that a couple of weeks ago, I uploaded a video about the scoring criteria for PTE. This was based on my experiments, observations, and experience of teaching PT and appearing in the test 7 times and scoring 90 in each of these attempts. Based on that, I told you how different sections are evaluated, which was an estimated scoring criteria. This was not based on Pearson's scoring guide, which only tells about how many points you get per question, but does not tell anything about how the integration between different sections work in PT. Now, if you have not watched that video, you can just click on the link above and you'll be able to watch it now. And then after that, in the next video, I told you how the speaking section affects reading and listening score. Again, if you want to watch the video, you can find the link in the description, or you can just click on the link above. In this video, I'll be talking about how the writing section affects your writing score as well as reading score. This is based on the mock test I did a few days ago, in which I only attempted the writing section. I skipped all the questions. Now, if you look at this score I am showing on the screen right now, you'll notice 2 interesting things. First, my writing score is only 25 because I only attempted writing, and this tells us a lot of things which I'll be discussing just in a few minutes. And the second thing is, if you look at my listening score, then you can see my listening score is 11, and that is quite interesting. And I will tell you how I got 11 in listening, although I did not do anything related to listening in this test, but you'll have to watch this video until the end. Okay, about the writing section score, you can see that in writing I have scored 25. What could be the reason for this? If you again refer to the video I uploaded a couple of days ago, then you perhaps noticed there that I told you essay contributes around 10, 11, or 12 points towards your total score, and summary also around similar points. Then if you combine them together, then you will get around 24, 25. And that's exactly the score I got in my test, 25 in writing. So what it shows is you get only around 20 to 25 points by doing the writing section out of 90. In other words, you can see that writing section itself is not that important for your overall score in writing. Not just that, if you look at my overall score, then you can see it's only 12, which also means that the contribution of writing towards overall score is less than speaking. If you watch my last video, perhaps you could notice that in that test as well, I had attempted only speaking, but that time my overall score was much better than this. So there are 2 important things we can learn from this experiment. The first is the contribution of writing towards overall score is much lower than other sections, and second is, if you do only the writing section, and let's say you're very good in summarized written text and essay, even then you can score only around 20 to 25 points. And if you are struggling for getting 65 or 79, you need to focus on other questions which are more important. Another interesting thing that I noticed after doing this experiment is that in reading I was supposed to get some score based on my summarized written text performance, but you can see that in reading it's showing 10, which simply means in Pearson's terms there is not enough data to analyze my performance, which means the computer did not have enough data to say how much score in reading I should get. Based on this, you can see that the contribution of summarized written text to reading is less as compared to the contribution of the reading questions to writing. And if you look at the grammar and vocabulary score, you can see that the grammar is 47 and vocabulary is 66. What does it tell us? What it tells us is the vocabulary score mostly comes from our writing, and our grammar, almost half of the points we get in grammar is from writing. Now you might be wondering, then where do we get the other half for grammar? And that I will explain when I will do the reading video. Oral fluency and pronunciation, of course, are 10 and 10, which means there was no data about that. That's understandable. And the spelling score is 38. Now, if you look at the spelling score, you will again notice one important thing. We were supposed to get 19 in spelling, but I have got only 38. Now, when I was doing this summarized written text and essay during the mock test, I had checked the spelling, and everything I wrote there, I double checked that on Microsoft Word as well. I copied all my answers and pasted in Microsoft Word just to make sure that I had not overlooked any spelling, which can happen because of the typing errors or human errors, and then I could not find any problems in my spelling there. But despite that, my score in spelling is only 30. It means that bulk of the score in spelling actually comes from listening. Now, which questions in listening are important for that? How should you do those questions? That again, I'll explain when I will do another experiment by attempting only the listening section in the mock test. Now, if you look at the written discourse, it's 90. And often my students get 19 written discourse, and then after that they come to me and ask me, like, why did I get 19 written discourse and what is it? So about written discourse, this written discourse means the expressions we use to move from one topic to another topic, or to create smooth transition between our ideas. Some of the linking words we use, for example, however, therefore, these are also examples of written discourse, but there are other examples of written discourse as well. Those of you who are using the template, you will most of the times get 90 out of 90 because we have designed the template in that way. I have put my experience of 14 years in designing this template, because of which almost all of our students tell us that when they use the template, they find it really easy to write their answers. They find it really easy to give answers in speaking. And not just that, they get excellent score as well, because we know how to do this. We know what are the factors which will influence your overall performance score, and how to tackle those points by making sure that the template contains all the important factors which will be evaluated. Now, the interesting thing that I was talking about was listening score of 11. I did not attempt anything related to listening, but still I scored 11 in listening. What could be the reason? Actually, the interesting thing here is when we were skipping the questions, and when I had used short answer question part, then one of my students entered my room, and then we started discussing different things, and the questions were just playing on the background. So he was answering those questions, and when he was answering wrong, I was correcting them, and so my score in listening came out to be 11, although in speaking I haven't got anything. And there is one more thing this tells us, that is, first, short answer question can contribute a lot of points towards listening. As you can see here, it's 11. And then second thing is, as I have told you in other videos as well, if you think your answer is wrong in short answer question, you can change them. This is something mentioned in Pearson's official guide as well. You can change your answer as many times as you want without any penalty, because your fluency and pronunciation are not tested in short answer question. So if you're not sure about your answer, or if you suddenly realize that your answer is wrong, then you can change it and give another appropriate answer. Now, overall, from this experiment, what I have learned is, or what I think you should learn is, writing section itself is not that important. Why it is not important? Because essay and summaries only contribute around 25 points towards your writing score. Traditionally, we have learned that essay is a very important task in writing, and by assessing our essay, our writing can be validated. And this is because of the tests like TOEFL and IELTS, where essay contribute more points than any other questions in writing. But in PT, interestingly, it is not the case. Although essay is an important question in PT, it's not the most important question. And for your information, the most important questions in writing are actually dictation and reading and writing fill in the blanks. So anyone who is struggling in writing, you must focus in these two question types more than on essay and summarized written text. For essay and summarized written text, you have to use the templates we have provided you, and make sure that you are filling those templates in the right way, focusing on the essential areas that we have told you in the class. Now, those of you who are not enrolled in our courses, you can simply visit our blog, and you'll find some interesting and important points which can help you to write good essays. If you're interested in our templates and you want to learn how to write essays and summaries using the tips and tricks without spending too much time on writing section itself, then you can enroll in one of our online courses, where we'll make sure that you learn all of these tips and tricks, as well as you also get feedback on your performance before you sit for the next test. Now, of course, you may have had many questions about what I told you in this video. If you have any confusion, please write in the comments. As usual, I will try to answer as many questions as I can. And if there are any specific requests you have, please write in the comments. Again, if I find those requests valid, I'll definitely respond to them as well. Until my next video, have a good time, and I'll see you soon.